In this video, we're going to talk about powers with the higher exponent and the base and exponent and how to shorten formulas again with a power. Okay, this is from the previous video. I removed the blocks at the background. So if you didn't saw it, it's about how to draw a parabola out of a quadratic formula. And it's a little bit of a long video, but you can skip some parts if you think, okay, now I understand it. But you need to know how to draw a parabola out of a quadratic formula. Okay, and in this video, we're going to talk about powers. So we already talked about it a few months ago, but it's good to repeat it. Over here, we can see a square, and it's actually it's 5 to the power of 2, but we also call that 5 squared. And that is the same as 5 times 5, and that's 25. You can also do a higher power, so 5 to the power of 3. And then you get 5 times 5 times 5. And you can guess if you have 5 to the power of 6, then you get 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Okay. The base and the exponent. In this example, 5 is the base, and that's the large number, and 3 is the exponent. So if I say to you, write down the power with the base is 4, and the exponent is 5, then you should know that that is the same as 4 to the power of 5, which is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, we can see that with numbers, but the base can also be a variable. So over here, the base of this one is a, and the exponent is 2, or a squared, which is a times a. And over here you can see a base still a, and the exponent is 4. And that means that you have 4 of the a's. A times a times a times a. Okay. And this information, you can use that to shorten formulas. Okay, if we have the formula k is 3c times 3c times 3c, we know that 3c is the same as 3 times c, but we don't write the multiplication sign anymore. So if we do write that again, then it should be 3 times c times 3 times c times 3 times c. It's best to write this first the numbers and then the variables, so you can change the order. So you can write 3 times 3 times 3, and then times c times c times c. It really is just the same formula, but the order is different. And now you can shorten this formula. You can calculate 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. And we have c times c times c. And that is just, the base would be c, and we have 3 of them, so the exponent will be 3. 27c to the power of 3. And this is the shortest way to write this formula. So in short, you have to multiply the numbers with each other, and you have to multiply the variables with each other, and then you get 27c to the power of 3. We don't know what c is, and that really doesn't matter. It's just a variable, and we just leave it like that. Okay, another example. M is 3k plus 2k squared plus k times k. Okay, well, first we're going to calculate the k times k. So we get m is 3k, we just copy the rest of it, 2k squared, and then k times k is k squared. And now we can shorten it because these are like terms, because they have the same variable with the same power. 3k and 2k squared are not like terms. So the shortest way to write this, 2k squared plus k squared. Well, actually there should be a 1 over here, but we don't write it. And if we have 2k squared plus 1k squared, then we get 3k squared. Because actually you can write it like 2k squared is the same as k squared plus k squared. And then we have another one plus k squared. So we get 3k squared. And this is the shortest way to write this formula. Okay, in the book it says powers that have the same base can be multiplied by each other. So they should have the same base, like over here. They both have the same base, it's 2. And you do this by adding the exponents together. Okay, so they say that we have to add the exponents together. If you get 2 to the power of 3, that's actually 2 times 2 times 2. So this belongs to this part. And 2 to the power of 5 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That belongs to that part. And then we multiply these all together. How many 2's do we get? 2 times 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 2. Those are 8 2's. So we get k is 2 to the power of 8. And they say powers that have the same base can be multiplied. Okay, that's what we do over here. You do this by adding the exponents together. And 3 and 5 together, 3 plus 5 is 8. So that is the rule of multiplying the powers. We can also see that with variables. So if we have k is a to the power of 4 times, and be careful because there should be a multiplication between them. If it's a plus, then it doesn't, this rule doesn't fit over here. So if we had a to the power of 4 times a to the power of 3, then actually we have k is a times a times a times a. That's the first part, 4 a's, times a times a times a. So k is a to the power of 7. You don't have to write down this whole step, because now we learned that it's just adding the 4 and the 3 together. Okay, I hope it's clear to you, and good luck with the exercises.